All right, silver SP 500 pound yen franc. So let's take a look at silver now. As you know, we're following this like with gold. When the market was already up here, I said you could sell with this one, no problems at all. And the market, as you can see, it's come nicely into those zones that we talked about. Okay, as you can see, it's stalled there, no problem. Let's get rid of this. Came into the 50 zone, that's your zone. Pushing a little bit up just like gold. Yeah, that's fine. It's your zone here. Okay, so this was the zone to start looking at. As you can see, it bounced off. And as you know, I was away for a bit, but I said you could follow this down. No problem. As you can see, the market just came nicely. All right, so we're in this zone. The market should push up a little bit into that zone. We don't want to be just selling straight away because the market should pick up before it sells up. As you know, the market's always moving in waves, okay? So catching the wave is what we'd like to do. And the market should pop up into 41 before we sell off again. So looking into 21.36.55, 21.36, 21.55. Weekly pivots also, as you know, it's a spot. So the market's selling at 21.15 there on the pivot. Is not a surprise, okay? There's a reason why the weekly, the daily, and the opening are always on your chart. So the trend is still down, so the market's selling it off at sensitive levels is logical, and that's what we should be doing, following it up. The goodbye kiss is at 21.21 on the price, a little too early. Other than that, though, that's it. What's that? 48 level, 21.59. So it's pretty close to 21.55, 21.59 there. All right, so that's the zone as well. So the market still can have a bit of potential to push up before selling off, and at the moment it should come down to fill in the gaps. If it does, you can push back up again. Where to come back to? The daily pivot is good. This is a good push up. This is a good push up as well. The daily pivot looks like a good spot to get in long. Also the opening. So if the market comes back into Astro Hours, you can go long. At Astro Hours, you can sell off here. I put the Astro Hours in Discord already and the members area, so you can take a look at them as well. All right. So in the interim, that's how it is. We're still expecting the market to push down, but no selling in this zone. Only if the market goes up do we want to sell. And as you can see, that's your zone there, right? So the market can still push up, so be careful, be mindful. SP 500 on the weekly, also no big deal. Your weekly goodbye kiss at 53, that's 4,048. Let's mark it in 4,048 is going to be there. All right, so the market still has room. They've sold it off there before, as you can see. If I tighten this up a little bit, this is a 15-minute chart. Okay, let's get rid of that. This is already done as well. You see these levels I marked in before I left. So as you can see, the market's just done them really nice. So very good. Let's take a look at the monthly. So selling in this zone is not a bad idea. This is also a breakout. But I suspect we should come back down in March. 50 level there is 4,015, which the market is pretty much, they've already done 4,015 this week right there. That's your 4,015 on Monday. Right, so 4,015 was what the PST level said. That's your 4,015. As you can see, it closed pretty much under that level there. So 4,015. All good. That's your PST precision. And yeah, so this week we could also head off there. You can see the direction is pretty much going to be downwards, I think. The first place you want to be covering yourself at is going to be 30. So if you do sell, be mindful for 3934. 3935 is going to be a target. 3935 there. All right, so this would be a target zone there. Okay. And is it worth buying there? Yeah, you can also do an intraday trade there, a day trade. If the market comes down, in order to go up. As you can see, it's pretty much done what we said it would do, came into those levels. Let's now get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. There. If it doesn't break above that, it's still good to sell. If it breaks above that, just be mindful, because we've got 4,050 to 75 being eyed up here. All right, so 53, 55. So 4,055, 76. 4,055 is there. 76 is there. So this looks also doable. All right, and that was the monthly. So selling at these levels at the highs, I think, is also an option. At the tops there as well, if you're using the ATM strategy and the smaller time frame, and you got your daily zones as well, you could do that at Astro hours as well. Let it come up to you and then sell it off. Yes, they also, look at that beautiful opportunity there. Beautiful push down right there. Okay, so let's take a look at the pound. Look at that. I mean, if you're just using ATM, you just trade on the lines and you're like pretty much done, and that's like precision. Now, it looks like we've got a break upwards here and a triangle here. So are we in? Where are we? Question. What do we want to do with the pound? Look, with the pound, you could sell again at the top here, LCL1, 21.35. Okay, so if you're keen on trading it, 21.35 is going to be just there. Pretty much there. All right, pretty much on the red line there. So this is one zone. The problem with that, what's the problem? It's got even highs right there. Okay, so it's just looking to be taken out. So don't sell it off there. It's a bit tricky. 57, 21.95. If you're going to do anything with this, 21.95 is going to be your zone. Right in this zone. There. Other than that, I wouldn't do anything with it. Okay, if you want to buy, where can you? Where can you? You can on the weekly pivot. If it comes back into the weekly, you can go long, but don't muck around in the middle of nowhere. And don't sell here, like I said, because even highs, they want to take them out, push them down. All right. And we've got even lows here as well, so pushing this further down is also not a bad idea. So selling at the highs to push further down is a better option. Franc, well, we talked about the franc. Not much to talk about now, okay? Because I've been telling you to go long from these levels like ages ago. So if you were going low, I said we'd be coming up here, so well, there you go. Well, don't do anything now because it's at the weekly hits. Look at that. That's your hit target zone there on the weekly. So if you're using the ATM strategy, you know, pretty much you would have been on top of it. I'm thinking if you're trading this, let the market pull back down a little bit before it goes up. Okay, so we should pull back down. If you want to buy it, let's get rid of these. Okay. You know, wait for it to come down. Okay, and don't... Yeah, let's wait for it to come down if you're going to buy it. Do you want to sell here? Well, you know, I don't know. Weekly sell point. If it goes back up to the opening or the Asia high at an Astro hour, selling to push down into the weekly is not a bad idea, but it's already done the weekly. So I'm a bit at odds with this kind of trading, okay? Because it's already done that. It's a double bottom there. You know, it's tricky, okay? This should come down a little bit more before it goes up. So in March, we could see it coming back down, possibly into these zones, and then pushing back up again. So this is a good impulse wave, as you can see. So if this is 1, this is 2, we're in wave 3. So having it come back into this zone here, this 92.88, is like good. You know, these levels are good to push up. What's that? 48. Yeah, 92.70. Like, these are good zones to come back into before we keep buying again. What's 40 there? 91.70 there. So 91.70, and this 48 level here, 92.70. They're like good to get back in the game in the direction that we talked about before. And so not much to talk about with dollar yen as well. I said we've got room to push up from these levels, and that, there you go. Now, if you want to follow the trend, you got to let it come back down to 134.18 at least before you can do anything. 134.18 is there. So if you want to buy in again, then you're going to have to come back into this zone. So this should come down further before pushing up. You see, and this is like your demand zone there. And this is going to come down because it's got room to fill. So it needs to come back down at least back into 135.40 zone. And then you got this zone happening here with the PST. That's your kill zone. So yeah, the market should come back down. Then should be getting ready to go long again. And on the daily, the first place you can buy in is at 135.54. 135.54 is right under the weekly there. 135.54 is there. So that's that, as you can see. This will be a bounce level. So cover your trade because you're too high there. I wouldn't be going in long here. I wouldn't push my luck. So if you're going to do it, it's got to be like an intraday or a scalp. Take 20, 30, 40 pips or whatever. Intraday, get out. And that's basically it. You got a target at 137.36. And on the monthly, to pull back to push up again. So it should come back a little bit more. Where to? What's the high of that? 134.77. 134.77. Yeah, back into this zone. So it's got to come back into this zone. Oh, it should. So I wouldn't stand in front of it here and think about buying. If you're going to do something like that, do it with a small lot.